person that sent me this story called it Placed in the Matrix. Actually, it's Placed in the Matrix, ? By the way, if you have a story that you'd like to share with our glitch community about glitches in the Matrix, dreams, aliens, cryptids, or the paranormal, you can send it to this email address. And remember, we believe you. Just so you know, the story might seem like it was written by AI, but I assure you it wasn't. I did use AI to fix any spelling, grammar, or punctuation errors. I'm a 50-year-old man eager to share my story with you. That's okay. We actually have a lot of people that do that. And I want to tell people out here, if you have a story that you want to share and you feel like you're not the best writer, it's like totally an option. Well, first of all, we have in our Discord, by the way, which is this. If you want to come join the Discord, please come hang out with us. We do have a story writing help channel, but also if you don't want to do that, or if you're overwhelmed by Discord or whatever, you can use like ChatGPT or something to help with your story. Like if you feel like I'm not the best writer, but I want to get my story out there, you can literally just like dictate your story to ChatGPT and be like, can you just write this up nicer for me? And we can do that. It's fine. A lot of people do it. It's totally a cool and acceptable way to send your story. I was born in 1975 in southern Indiana, late May, which meant that it was warm. This story takes place in 1987 when I was 12. 3 years earlier, a single father named Robin and his son, whom I'll call Jay, moved in. We were about the same age, just a week apart in birthdays, and we became very close over the 3 years that we spent together. Robin wasn't very wealthy, so that he couldn't provide many things for Jay. I understood that as we grew up together, we had many sleepovers at my house. He loved spending time with my family and me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. He didn't own pajamas or so many belongings. Still, I had things for him at home, and we celebrated 2 birthdays together. One night, just before my 11th birthday, we had a sleepover where he wanted to show me his birthmark. That's weird. His birthmark looked like a chocolate spot in an unusual shape near his groin, like the emoji. That's really interesting. I was fascinated because I didn't have any birthmarks. It was strange that it was on his groin. As I got to know him better, I eventually understood that he thought of himself as having caused his mom's death. Sometimes Robin blamed Jay for Robin's wife, Jay's mom's death, saying that she died while giving birth to him. That is not his fault. My parents explained that it wasn't his fault, yes, and reassured him about those facts. Then came the week before our 12th birthdays. I was very excited for my 12th birthday because Jay was going to sleep over again. We had such a good time during those 3 years being adventurous in the backyard. Remember, there was no internet or personal computers back then, at least not available to us, though they existed. We spent our time outside making up games, inventing stories, calling ourselves wizards, astronauts, pirates, or other explorers. Our house had a basement, which was a lifesaver since we lived in a tornado zone. If there were ever an emergency, we could head downstairs. During that sleepover, Jay was on the air mattress I kept in my room, normally tucked under the bed when it wasn't in use. We stayed up late, chatting until around 9:30 p.m. My alarm clock, with its clicking plastic flip-down numbers, oh my god, I can literally envision the exact alarm clock you're thinking of, let me know that it was late. We knew we might get in trouble for staying up, but we kept talking. I was again fascinated by Jay's birthmark, and we were going to be 12. For him and me, being 12 was very exciting because it was the last year before becoming teenagers. I remember Jay had sandy blonde hair and extraordinary brown eyes. We even played board games indoors. That night, just before my birthday, the sky turned pink abruptly. I looked at the clock at 9:30 p.m. and saw the sky, not as if it was sunset, but pink. It was very unnatural. My parents were in the other room watching TV. My sister was asleep. Why was the sky pink? Both Jay and I felt nervous, bothered even. I looked again at 9:35 p.m. and the pink sky remained. We lived in a quiet suburb with gravel roads, no streetlights, and no sidewalks. Then there was a sudden knock on the door. Jay and I were both unclothed as it was a warm summer night. Mom opened the door and Dad looked in and said in a calm voice, "Boys, you need to come with us. There's an emergency." What? I thought we'd go to the basement, but Dad said, "Come on, we're going to a shelter." That startled me. We had a basement, so why would we need to go to the shelter when we already had one? Dad touched the back of my neck, giving it a slight pinch. I didn't think much of it, as his hands were very calloused. He called Jay over, and we went outside into the pink night. It was just bright enough from the moonlight to see that the sky was pink. Then we stepped onto a moving walkway, similar to those at big airports, where most of the neighbors were heading. Jay, his dad, Robin, and my dad and his sister and I formed the back of the line. I noticed that where the old house used to be, there was now a tall silo, which was a bit odd since there was a cornfield behind that house, but no silo before. It was huge, so tall I had to lean back to see all the way to the top. We were led to the silo via the moving walkway. What is happening right now? Did you have a moving walkway before this? Or did it just spawn? This is freaking me out, man. What is happening? There I noticed pink pods shaped like beans protruding from it. Dad said it was okay. I wondered if this was the shelter. Mom approached one of the pods, laid my sister inside, and went into an open doorway on the side of the silo. Dad then placed me into a pink pod and went inside as well. I was sitting up and he told me that it was okay to lie down. I looked over at my sister and she was asleep, covered with cables, which struck me as strange. This is all striking me as a very strange. Robin helped Jay into his pod. He was very upset and crying, "No, Dad, I don't want to be here." His dad told him it was okay to lie down. Robin also entered the silo. I looked around and no one else from our street was going in. My sister resting peacefully made me feel calmer. Jay was struggling against the cables, trying to force him to lie down. I decided to lie down myself, though I could see through the pod's side, which looked like slime or goo, pink, of course. Though I saw Jay struggling, I was calm and felt safe, but he clearly did not. He kept trying to get up and out. I called out, "Jay, it's okay, please calm down," just before I fell asleep. Then I woke up in my bed the next morning. The air mattress was out, and I tried to remember why I pulled it from under the bed. I got up, dressed, went to the bathroom, and then to the kitchen. My mom had made my favorite breakfast, pancakes and bacon, and I asked where Jay was. The air mattress was still out. Did he go home? My mom asked, "Who are you talking about?" "We pulled out the air mattress because your cousin is coming today. Eugene is coming for your birthday." I remembered that, and I didn't think much of it, though I was a little confused. "Wasn't the sky pink last night?" I asked Mom. She said she didn't think so. We went to bed right after watching TV. I wondered if there were storm sirens. I remembered the pink sky, but Mom reassured me that everything was fine. The birthday party went on. My 12-year-old cousin and his brothers arrived, and I thought about the strange shape, a chocolate mark in the shape of a winky face. I asked my cousin if he had any birthmarks. He said no, and neither did his brothers. We were close in age and like the brothers, but the details of the birthmark remained unexplained. Many years later, I learned that my friend Mark wanted to see The Matrix, which was released on March 31st, 1999. I was literally thinking about the pods from The Matrix with the cables and the pink goo when you were explaining that before. We watched the trailers and went to see it about a week after it opened. The scene arrives where Neo has been unplugged and is breaking free of the pod. I started breathing heavily because I remembered that pink goo, the cables, the straps. Mark thought I was having a panic attack and tried to calm me. We finished the movie, and afterwards he asked me what caused the panic. I told him about Jay, my missing friend, and his birthmark. Mark then lifted his sleeve to show me a similar birthmark in his armpit, a chocolate shaped precisely as I remembered. He said he first noticed it at age 11. We spent the evening discussing how birthmark could go unnoticed until then and how it was possible to forget a friend's name that only starts with J. During the year after The Matrix came out, I remember asking Robin, Jay's dad, what happened to him. He answered by saying that Jay had died during childbirth, along with Jay's mother / his wife. Robin, however, told me that he would have named his son Josh if Josh had lived. So I know a boy whose name begins with J who never got to be a teenager. Was he just deleted? And this is the best story the Matrix program could come up with? Did Jay struggle so much that he died while floundering in the pod? Or was he actually just a 3-year figment of my imagination? I may never know, and I still find it very strange. How do you remember an unusual placement and shape of a birthmark that no one else in your family has had? And how does someone not notice a birthmark until they are 11 years old? I may never know the answers to these questions. I do not even believe that I have the answers within my own memory, but for now, this is my story. Thank you for taking the time to read it. The end! I don't even know what to say about this. This is freaking crazy, dude. Okay, so you know how people say that like everything that you could literally think of and imagine is something that exists, right? Because you can't think of something that doesn't exist. Does that make sense? I'm talking right now about the similarities between the Matrix and this like scenario that happened to this person way before the Matrix even existed. So maybe like something along the lines of the Matrix like actually did happen in another timeline or another dimension. And maybe you and Jay and all those people, your parents and Jay's dad from that version of reality went into these pods because whatever the fuck was happening there, I can't even tell you, but Matrixy kind of thing was happening there, but you died. And now you're in like a similar timeline. You woke up in a similar timeline in which the mattress is out because your cousin was coming and Jay never existed. And that whole thing. But you retained the memories of the other timeline that just happened and your friend, because that's what's fucking me up, right? Because normally I'd be like, okay, Jay never existed. Jay was a ghost. You were hanging out with Jay's ghost. But that could not have been it because of the memories of you have him sleeping over and the interactions between all the parents and stuff like that. So that can't. And the whole pink sky fucking pod gooey weird pink shit wire situation, matrix situation is what's fucking me up. So it can't be that. It has to be that. Oh my God, what if you guys got plugged in? What if we're all really in the matrix? Really in the matrix? And you're plugged in right now and you remember being plugged in. And this is your plugged in matrix reality. That's actually a simulation, but you're actually still there plugged in. Wait, but what's with the weird birthmark? And why was it like on Jay? Then all your family was like, nah, we don't have it. And then your friend had it, but didn't notice it till he was 11. This is like fucking me up, dude. I don't even know. What do you guys think? Please let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you so much for sharing this story.